That's it.
¿Cómo
right
estás?
there.
Mi
Made the
I
what?
don't know
What?
Spanish well enough.
What are you talking about?
You counted down in Spanish, so I felt like I needed to.
It was my Espanol.
Hola, mis señores y señoritas. Watashi wa Ryan sama.
What is happening?
¿Cómo está cada?
I'm so confused. What the? So I set all these audio levels. Now everything's weird again.
Okay, well,
oh my gosh,
we've
got the fist.
There you go.
Thank you, Twashu, for the fist.
Okay. Is that a fist or is that? Yeah, that is a fist.
What's up, Zay? I don't know what you're talking about. Needing to learn Dutch. You've got Ja Rule.
Ja Rule. Or da, like as in Russian. Yes.
Ah, yes.
Da.
Oh, it is a finger pointing. Oh,
I thought it was a finger pointing.
Do I need different glasses? I need to get my eyes checked, man. I think my vision is deteriorating. But I'm spending like every day surrounded by this enormous white paint booth and breathing in paint fumes and yes, it's great.
Hola muchachos.
Hola. Welcome everybody to Don't Worry Wednesday. It's our Wednesday show. Yeah, you know it. You're here. And it's all about you and your topics. We've got some topics now. And we appreciate all of you so much for sending us topics. Please send us more. We want more of you guys and your topics, which you can go to don'tworrywednesday.com. You can click the submit a topic button, and that's how it works. And it should work very well. Right?
It should.
It should work.
It should work very well.
Exceptionally well.
That's the plan.
Yeah. The plan is for it to work very well.
That is always the plan for it to, well, not always. To be honest, it's not always the plan that it works.
Wait.
When I write music or when I do some coding,
what do you mean?
Sometimes my plan is to, like, that it doesn't work.
Oh.
It helps me move things along faster or get more ideas.
I'm waking up
honestly,
to ash
there have
and
been
dust.
times where I'm like, that shouldn't have worked, and it does work, so I don't know what to think.
Wiping my brow and sweating my rust. Breathing.
Oh, I know, breathing in the chemicals. Yeah, there you are. Yeah, I was like, I think I know what this is.
This is the song. I gotcha. Yes. But I left today. I didn't stay when your brother's breathing the chemicals today.
Oh yeah, he's in it, huh?
Yeah, and well, it was funny. He started spraying when I was leaving, and I was like,
"You guys are spraying already?"
Well,
oh wait, no, you're just painting the booth itself.
Yeah. And he started, and I'm like, "Dang, that's some spicy fumes right there." You know, it's like spicy. When you get like the more toxic the paint fumes get, like the spicier it is on your windpipe.
It's like they put capsaicin in it.
Yeah. It's cool. Like, dang, this is some spicy stuff. And you can almost start timing how long it takes you to get a buzz from it.
Wow. That sounds intense, man.
It's fun. But anyway, welcome guys to Don't Worry Wednesday. I know I said that already, but welcome again.
That
Kendra,
reminded me one
Zay,
time.
Twashu, Ellie, Super Neon Blue. Who else we got here? Snowlock Holmes, August. Yeah, Hero, Cats, all you guys. Mianglios, if you're still here, you guys are awesome. We love you guys, and that's why we do this show. And Ryan was going to say something. I interrupted him.
No, it's good. It's good. It's more important. They being here is more important than what I had to say. Trust me.
Yeah.
All I was going to say is it reminded me of that time that Kyle, Diane, and I were in the basement of Colorado painting the basement. And we were like painting everything. And then all of a sudden, I'm like kind of feeling, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's feeling a little weird, but it's not that big of a deal, like to me. And then all of a sudden, Diana falls on the floor just laughing. And me and Kyle look at her, and she's just laughing on the floor. And we're like, Yeah, it's probably time to get out of here, huh? So we just kind
That's
of
great.
all walked back upstairs and moved on to
Yeah.
something
Go
else.
outside for a few minutes.
Hmm.
Like it's
Yeah,
good to do that.
yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
yeah, but yeah, so this show is about you guys and your topics. Go to don'tworrywednesday.com, click the submit a topic button, and we would love to talk about it. Um yeah.
Hmm.
So we're not professionals.
Is that concerning?
We're not. We're not professional
Um,
therapists. We're not professional
true,
counselors. We're not
true.
professional
Football wrestlers.
football wrestlers.
Hmm.
Did I sleep well last night? Actually, I did. It took me a while to fall asleep, but I did sleep well. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah,
That's good.
I got up late.
Is there a story here?
I went to bed late. I got up late.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yes, sleep is important. I'm learning that now. Now that I've been 29 as long as I have. Actually, I was 29 so
Hmm.
long I turned 54.
For
But
like about
now
a week.
for
Are you
about a
back
week,
being
and
29?
now I'm probably 17.
Joe's timeline is so hard to follow, guys. I'm doing my best over here, but even as one of his best friends, it's hard. So good luck.
Yeah, yeah. Good luck. Good luck with that. We
Mm-hmm.
should put Don't Worry Wednesday on Twitch. Thank you. I think we
Agreed.
should too.
Mm-hmm.
We got to do there's some technical stuff we got to do that we just don't have time to do. And that's I think it's basically we got to do like the restream thing, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
basically it?
Yeah, we used to do that. Then here's what happened.
We did it for about
We used
4
to stream on
episodes or something.
we used to do it and then Restream absolutely broke. So then Jesse and I
Oh.
created our own little program thing that could do it.
Hmm.
And then after a while that broke. And so then we just decided, okay, fine. We're just going back to YouTube for a while. Yeah.
And then, you know what?
Here
6
we've
years
been.
later.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Honestly.
I mean, it is a while,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. It's the right color. Oh yeah, it's true. We kind of got the right color scheme going on for Don't Worry Wednesday Twitch.
oh yeah, because Twitch is purple. It's a different purple though.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And purple doesn't actually exist. Wasn't it somebody said purple doesn't actually exist?
People have been saying for a long time purple doesn't exist. They say violet and lavender and all those colors exist, but purple doesn't.
Why?
I
How?
don't know.
Those are all shades of purple.
And to people who say that, I'm gonna point to something that's magenta and say, well, then what color is that? And they're gonna say that's pink, and I'm like, see, you're just as much as an idiot as you think everybody else is because that's magenta. That
Yeah,
is not pink.
magenta, man.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Color blindness. Purple doesn't exist because I'm colorblind. I
Hey,
like that. That's a
that
good
could
one.
work. That works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Zay, sorry, we're not professionals. I mean, it's crazy. We're professional musicians.
Mm-hmm. We do get paid for that. You're a professional cabinetier. Okay, that's not a
Not
word,
yet.
but not yet.
Not yet.
Mm-hmm. Not
Your
yet. You
your
haven't gotten
brother
paid
your
for it yet.
brother has been a professional cabinet maker,
Mm-hmm.
and
I was once.
yes, you were. And when we've started a company that builds cabinets, but we have not gotten paid yet. We've got like 4 different jobs kind of on the hook right now. Kind of like
Mm-hmm.
we're just kind of waiting. We've got bids out for a few of them, and it's like okay, like just waiting. But
Yeah.
but that's how the game
Hey.
goes in that
Yes.
profession, because you're talking about big expenses, like
Yeah. Huge expenses. We
you
gotta make sure
know.
everything's perfect.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's like so we go down to sit with somebody, and it's like okay, yeah, so we looked at your space and blah 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 blah, and here's some ideas, and it's gonna be like $50,000.
Mm-hmm. Restream, by the way, is no longer broken because we've been using it, me and Yansai. So.
Oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Also, Kendra, thank you. Thank you for looking and recognizing the colors for what they are.
Magenta is
Is
completely
important
different from
as an
normal
artist.
pink. Yeah, so when people call it pink, they're wrong.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know why purple doesn't exist. I still don't know that one. I've just been told that many times, and I go, okay.
I think those people are wrong too. Never underestimate a person's ability to be wrong.
That's true. That is quite true.
No matter how right they sound.
Yeah. Yeah, no matter how right they sound, that is quite. When I was growing up, I had a friend, and he would it wasn't really my friend, he was my brother's friend, but it doesn't matter. He would make stuff up to sound smart, and we just all believe him. And then like later, just like, no, he was just making stuff up. Like that's definitely just made up stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, and in this video game, blah 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 blah. You know that when the creators created it, blah 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 blah. And he's like, you know, I read it in a magazine, and then we find out later it's like none of that happened. None of those facts were anything to do with the video game, and now we don't know what's right or wrong anymore.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty
that happens.
Yeah.
Fuchsia. That's right.
Yep.
Oh, fuchsia. Purple is a term Crayola made up. I didn't know that. They even trademarked it. Well, then it does exist. Because it's in order to be trademarked,
supposed it has to be called violet.
Always have concept. Okay. Well, there's the thing.
Call purple. You had to call it violet.
Oh, I see. You know, everyone does that rhyme.
Purple
for
nurple.
Like a poem. The poem. Sorry, I don't know the purple nurple. I don't know the purple nurple poem.
You can't call it a violet nurple. It doesn't sound right. You know, like.
Yeah. They say roses are red and violets are blue, and I just have to like correct them and be like, no, I'm sorry. Sure, roses are red, but violets are violet.
Yes, they're not blue.
They're not blue. They're violet. Yeah, I mean, my poem is roses are red, violets are violet. Call them violet, or things are gonna get violent.
Oh. And this is coming from Static P.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm kidding. If things aren't really gonna get violent.
If Ryan gets violent, that'd be something to witness. I'd be afraid of that though, because always the people who have the calmest, most collected demeanor, like when you finally push them to that edge, it's like nuclear winter with the
here's the
bomb first and then the winter, and it's like crazy.
Yeah, I think the reality is, because we have an expectation of someone, if they do freak out, it feels way more intense. But you see people do what that person does like every day, and you think but that's normal for them, so you don't really think it's intense. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. We just kind of dismiss the person who's like, you know, who's always
crazy
like freaking out at you.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of like, okay, it's just another day. Here they go. You know, flying off the handle again.
Yeah.
Apparently, some people say purple doesn't have its own light wavelength like violet does. Rather, it's just red and blue wavelengths, and our eyes perceive it as purple.
Oh.
Well, okay, but it still looks purple. Kendra, see you later. Have fun at choir.
Okay, yeah,
sing well.
God bless. Thank you for being here. Stopping by.
Yeah.
All right, good talk, guys.
Yeah, we did good. Okay, you have a question that's not related to color, but it is a thought. Okay.
All right, thoughts are important.
Share your thoughts.
Yeah, feel free to share.
Okay, since we often pull our phones out of our pockets to check the time, does that mean we are bringing back the era of pocket watches?
I think so.
You are on something, Ellie.
Wow. Who would have known that those would have come back in such style?
I know.
People are glued to their pocket watches.
Wow, they're totally...
That's great.
That's right. We should just call them pocket
Amazing.
watches instead of phones,
Yeah, that's right. I like that.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like,
Yeah,
did you
can
ever
everyone
see?
silence their pocket watches?
Yep. Awesome. All right. Well, hey, what do you say we get into a topic?
I think it's a great idea.
What's the blue mean here?
That just means they're attending, and there's probably other ones that are
Oh,
attending, but
okay.
I just clicked the button for attending for them since I knew that they were here.
All right. Well, we got some topics. We do have an urgent one. It comes from Hero. Hero, are you
Mm-hmm.
here still? I saw you in the chat earlier. It says you want to
Yeah.
be here when we do this topic, and we would love to honor that. But I just want to make sure you're
Yes.
still with us. Um, it looks like with the amount of people watching right now, we must have offended some people with our purple conversation. People got offended.
Yeah, I
There's a
think that
lot.
was really a little bit too controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yes,
Indeed.
indeedy. All right.
Thank
Good.
you, Hero.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks for sticking around through the purple times.
Yes. The purple time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool. So we have a topic from Hero here. It is called "Friend with Deep Self-Hatred," and it's a biggie. Oh my! Look at that. All right. It's lengthy for a topic, but that's all right. We're gonna do it. Yeah, Super Neon Blue. I don't think the viewer count is always correct either.
Yeah.
So it is silly. And YouTube has trouble keeping up. YouTube gives us trouble all the time.
Mm.
It's interesting. YouTube, fix it.
For us. Us lovely people.
Did you see that? That was my stern face.
I like that.
YouTube can't handle the truth.
Yeah, you tell them.
All right. All right, cool. So I'll get this topic up on the screen so we can read through it. And that's no problem, Hero. The length is no problem whatsoever. We will muscle through. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
YouTuber.
I think they heard you. That's funny.
It's Zay. Zay, what's up?
Hey, Zay. Welcome.
What is
Well,
that? What is that little emote? That's cool.
Yeah, it's like a winky face
I've
with
never
some like
seen that
audio
before.
going on the side. I think that's great.
That's
Yeah.
like
Pulled that one out of nowhere, man.
uh-huh. Little YouTube emote. Oh, no, hey. Okay, that's the new one. That's for the longest time all I was doing was dabbing for my emotes, I'm still going to do it from time to time.
I'll show you something you've never seen.
You're going to show me something I never seen?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see something from you that I've never
There
seen.
you go.
What is that?
Right? There's all sorts of ones out there that no one ever uses.
That's great. Hey, Shade, what's going on? It's good to see you.
I know it's the elbow sneeze, but we call it the dab.
Yeah, it looks it's totally a dab, man.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, is that a Ninja Turtle saying stop? No. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna go with it.
I have no idea what that is. Yep. All right, cool. Let's do this topic, shall we? So, all right. So here we go. This is called Friend with Deep Self-Hatred. It comes from Hero, and it is up on the screen now, so you can read along while I read it aloud. And it goes like this. Hi. I write this in hopes of some advice on helping a dear friend of mine. Sorry, it may be pretty lengthy for a topic. Both practical and spiritual advice of any sort would be great. For reference, I myself am Catholic. My friend has lived an unfair life. She has been through a lot of mental strain since she was young, too much to discuss with this topic alone. I mainly want to ask for help with how to respond properly to where she is now. For many years, she has lived her life disregarding herself for the sake of making others happy. Unfortunately, it's led people to take advantage of that kindness and abuse it. Within one particularly toxic friendship that she was stuck in for far too long, She was quite young, trying to handle the raw emotions of someone older than her for several years.
Mm.
Because she was desperate for a friend, she felt she had no choice and fell into toxic behavior that took a mental, emotional, and even monetary toll on her to this day. She's developed a deep hatred for the situation and herself, sacrificing so much of her life for someone who could not reciprocate it. In her words, she would rather die than forgive herself for the choices she's made. I have been friends with her a long time, and while it has varied in intensity over the years, she overall thinks very lowly of herself, which is unfortunate because she is one of the kindest, most thoughtful, patient, loving, and supportive souls I've ever met. Because of her selflessness, she never got a chance to really plan or think of her own future, and now has no lasting hope in life. As she describes it, she's simply surviving to die. She sees herself as undeserving of praise, a husk with no consciousness, and no reason to live for herself, as any reason she has for living is either gone or was never there in the first place. Thus, her only goal is to care for others until they eventually don't need her anymore, until she's exhausted her usefulness to others. She pushes people away out of guilt because she feels that she owes the people who have hope for her good news of improvement. Why would she want to get closer to people just to have them just to just to have to tell them more bad news about the state that she's in again and again and again? This is the way she sees herself. I've told her before and aim to let her know again that I'm not friends with her just for good news and high points, but because I see her as a really kind person, and I think she absolutely deserves to have someone be there for her no matter what, whether it's me or someone else in her life who can. No one should have to go through what she goes through alone. In a lot of ways, I would not have been where I am today if it weren't for her support and faith in me through some of the most difficult and stressful times of my life, all while dealing with stresses of her own that I genuinely see as much worse than my simpler college and time management woes. I fully believe that the world needs not just her, but more people like her. I fully believe there is something innately special about her that warrants her existence. All that being said, I've already written a lot down to express and respond to all of her feelings in kind, but I figured having an outside perspective would not hurt at all because while I'm not too concerned about it, knowing myself, I don't want to come off as tone deaf in my response. I know and have known that my words alone will never be what changes her or the way she sees the world. It has to be a choice she makes and a conclusion she comes to in her own heart. But at the very least, I want to do my best to not act against that change if I can help it, and maybe, God willing, facilitate it too. So I'm picking your brains on it. After all, you guys are pretty dang smart, and maybe I'll get to hear some perspectives I never considered myself. Again, forgive me for the ramble upon rambles, and thank you so much for your time. Best regards, Hero. Hero, thank you so much for this topic, and
Yeah,
it's
thank you.
it's not too long. Hey, it
It's
got
appropriate.
through. It made it through apparently there's a character limit on our website, and
Yeah.
you did it. You got it through, so that was good. And yeah, this is tough, man. Like when you have a friend who's, going through such a struggle with themselves, and it can be really frustrating, it can be really hard, and I feel bad for a lot of people who were my friends over the past few years because I exhibited a lot of this as well of just not believing that my life was worth anything. And part of that had to do with the amount of there was some big struggle, there was a lot of psychological things that had happened surrounding my divorce and surrounding everything that was going on with all of that. And I'm sure I'm almost positive I was a massive drain on a lot of people. And so I apologize to any of you who had to put up with me for that.
You get you.
Thank you. But it's tough. she's in a tough spot, and I applaud you for being her friend, and I applaud you for continuing to try, continuing to work, and continuing to be there. And that's one of the most important things, is just to be there. You may not even have to say anything, because I'm sure it feels like no matter what you say, it doesn't really have an impact. You can tell her all the time, how great she is and how worthwhile she is, and it doesn't seem to be getting through. But I can tell you that it does. It does get through. But the question is, how long does it stay once it's gotten through to the point where she just rejects it because of her own self-image? And that sometimes is immediate. I know I went through the stage where it was immediate, where if somebody said something nice to me, it was immediately my brain would just reject it, because it was like, nope, that's not true. And it's pretty wild, because you're right that she does have to come to these conclusions herself. She does have to find these things out in herself, for herself, but she doesn't have to do it by herself. And you being there, I can tell you from my own experience, I'm sure makes a big difference to her. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan. Ryan has helped a lot of people through the mud, myself included. And so he's just got a knack for helping you feel really, really good about yourself. And I'm sure he's got some really, really good stuff to say about this that can be helpful. So Ryan,
I'll find out.
It is all yours, my very good friend.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for that, Joe. And I don't know, I think I can blame most of it on the Holy Spirit and just being willing to act, I think
can blame it
it's
on
really
the Holy
hard.
Spirit.
Yeah, any good effect I've had on people over the many years,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's the Holy Spirit's fault.
Yeah, it's their problem. It's their fault. It's our problem, but it's their fault. No, okay. No, it's good.
Uh-huh.
What you're going through obviously is very difficult, but what they're going through is even harder, right? And it's hard because they're not here, so we can't directly talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
And even if we could, we might not make much of an impact. There is something to be said for third party. When you hear a third party that you can't argue with, it can make a big difference in how you receive a message, compared to someone who is close to you, and you can listen to what they say and argue against them in your head a lot easier, or argue with them in face to face. But regardless of any of that, what you have is a close friendship, and so that's what you need to focus on and take advantage of. I think already there's been good stuff in the chat that you understand, Hero, and what you're already trying to do, I think, is good. Like Joe said, just being there for them is important, and that's already something good that you're doing. Recognize that love is real, and it affects them regardless of how well they receive it. It's being received in some way or another and building them. One thing that I've talked about before, and Hero, you might have been here while I talked about it before, but the best thing you can do to help people a lot of times is not necessarily give them advice or tell them how to necessarily change the way they think, though that can have some impact if they're willing and ready. But a lot of times it's going the journey with them, inviting them along for the journey, having a journey that you are partaking in and inviting them along for it. When you are the kind of person that is, you're set in your ways, and you're set in your ways, and their ways are good, and you have a certain charisma about you, and you might not think that you have a charisma, Hero, but you do. You're awesome. And so, anyways, my point is, when you take someone else on an adventure, it allows them to see the world a little bit through your eyes. And that can be a big awakening for people. And I don't know what that's going to look like for you, but there are many times where we wish we could help someone by telling them like what to do. And what to do, we might actually have the right advice, we might not. But the best thing to do a lot of times is just to walk the road with them and being willing to do that. And as Nyansai is saying, ask them questions, challenge them on their beliefs. Yeah. So one thing that I often do is recognize I don't know the person's thoughts. I can make assumptions, and I might have the right assumption, but it's much better for me to ask them why they think what they think, where that comes from, etc., because it lets them figure it out rather than me trying to tell them what it is and then giving them the chance to dismiss it. And if they say something that I think is a little bit off track, I can say, well, why do you think that's important here? Or what makes you think that? What makes you think that? You know? And to be pleasant, or to do your best to be pleasant all the while is really important, so that you're inviting. You know, you can challenge people on something. I mean, this is a recent thing that we've been talking about, but it's kind of funny. Instead of if someone gets you wrong, right? If they say something about you and it's wrong, you can if I don't know. There's a lot of examples out there, but if someone says something, maybe they're a bully or whatever, and they say something to you or about you and it's wrong, maybe they're like, I'm trying to think of an example that's not offensive. But generally, they're all intended to be offensive. So, okay, let's use this example, and it's stupid, but like when you're a kid, they could be like, hero like Cindy, right? And you're like, I don't like Cindy. What are you talking about, right? If you respond with heightened emotions, or you respond with like, no, I don't, they're just going to think that you do even more, right? But if you invite them into having a different way of thinking, or if you invite them into a conversation, it completely changes the tone. So, and they no longer think that about you. So if you have like a crowd of people and then someone's like, you like Cindy, all of a sudden you go, no, I don't like Cindy. What are you talking about? Everyone's going to think that you like Cindy, right? But if instead you go, hold on, do you mind if I challenge you on that? If you say something like that, all of a sudden, no one thinks that you like Cindy. Because you have the confidence to ask them a question and invite them into a conversation. And suddenly, the whole premise of you liking Cindy is no longer even people's main thought or consideration of you. Suddenly, things just shifted. You've taken control of the conversation, right? And so when you hear your friends say things, there are certain ways you can approach them. When they're being self-deprecating, when they look at themselves and they hate themselves and so on, you can invite them into a conversation. You can tell them what you think. You can tell them that what they're thinking is wrong or whatever, but that's not going to do anything. So it's much better to invite them into a conversation, much better to ask them to walk you through their own feelings, and to help them by letting them navigate, right? Mm-hmm. Let them have the steering wheel. Offer it up for them, because you already know the truth, that they're an awesome person. So you don't need to try to shove it in their face, right? You already know the truth. You're confident in that. They're the ones that need to discover the truth. They're not going to discover it by you telling them. We don't discover things generally by being told. We discover things by discovering them. Yes, on occasion we do learn when people tell us, but generally things stick better when we discover them ourselves, right? That's the way it works. And so I would say there's a lot of different tactics you can employ to try to help your friend, and to wrap your brain around inviting them into the conversation. inviting them into those deep, intimate places where discovery can be made is important. It might not always end up in the place you want it to be. It might often end up being extra depression, right? More sadness and so on. But you can, if they believe in God, which Hero, do they believe in God? Are they Catholic? Are they Christian? Or are they anything like that?
I was gonna ask that too.
And that's a question I had since the very beginning. I forgot to ask it because it can really, if they do, you can really help them a ton, because that's always something you can point to and explain it, and you can explain God, which is awesome to some extent, right? Obviously, he's infinite. We can't fully explain him, but you can explain parts of God, and they can't argue with that, and that reality affects them and is part of them, right? So that's a really nice way to kind of guide conversations into a wholly oriented, a forward oriented manner. Sure. So Hero, you have to let us know if that's okay. I mean, yeah, you said I've been going off the assumption that they haven't based on past conversations, but I don't actually know for sure. Okay. It might be worth it sometime to ask them. You're the best way to help someone is to get to know them intimately, right? So you can help them in an intimate way. And part of that intimacy is taking them on the adventure, like I was talking about before, inviting them along for the journey and doing something that is holy, doing something that is forward thinking, positive thinking, hopeful, building up, giving your time to it, investing in something that builds up, right? Doing those types of things, the intention is over time, they adapt some of those thinking habits that you're exhibiting. And by changing their thinking habits, they start to readdress some of their personal problems with those new perceptions, and that helps them forward, right? And that's not too hard, Hero. That's not too hard because you already have good positive thinking habits. You just need to help them have those thinking habits as well, right? Right now, like the reason she's in this position is because of poor thinking habits. It's just ingrained into her through many, many years of toxic relationships. That's not her fault. It just is what it is. And so when she looks at herself, she thinks toxic thoughts. That's not her fault. It is what it is. But if you can change it around, instead of thinking toxic thoughts, think healthy thoughts, right? That will completely readdress all of the problems, and she'll still have things to get through, but she'll be getting through them a lot easier and better, right? So the more time you can spend with them, the adventure you can go on. And what is an adventure? What I'm talking about as an adventure can be anything, but generally it's a goal. It's a goal you both share. Okay? So find a goal you can both share and work towards. Even if that goal is just going hiking. Hey, we're going to hike to the top of this mountain. Right? Hey, we're going to hike. We're going to see how far we get before we have to turn around. And do things like that. Do things that are goal-oriented together. And then as you go through that process, your line of thinking, especially if you're the one in charge, your line of thinking rubs off on her. You're going to have to try to be as charismatic as you can be so that your thoughts rub off on her as best as possible. By charismatic, I don't mean offensive or overwhelming. I just mean confident, that you're confident in yourself and you have faith, right? You have faith in the journey. Faith is a really, really, really important virtue. And faith in God, faith in your life, faith in reality is important. And if you can help her find some of that, if you can act like you have faith in the things that you do, hope in the things that you do, belief that God will make them good, right? If you act that out into the world, that's going to be charismatic and impactful on them. If you can have those conversations that are intimate and deep, that will help her find those parts of her that she needs to look at And if you can be there with her while she looks at them, that could do some good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing. Just because you find those nuggets doesn't mean things change overnight, but finding those nuggets is important. It's an important part of the journey, because if you don't know what's wrong, you can't solve anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you don't, it's like you're trying to solve a math problem and you're like, X times Y equals Z. And you're like, well, I don't know what X is. I don't know what Y is. And I don't know what Z is. You're not going to be able to get anywhere with that, right? But if you know one value, you're like, okay, I know what Z is, so that's good. X and Y could be a lot of different things. X times Y equals Z. Well, I know Z is 2. And it could be 1 times 2. It could be 2 times 1. It could be 1.3 times 1.0. What is it? 1.06 or something? I don't know what it is, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to do that math. But regardless, you get my point. It could be so many things. And so if you can get one number, then you can get the you can have some idea of what's going on, and you can start moving in the right direction. And then lastly, if you get another number, right, then all of a sudden the problem becomes a lot easier, a lot easier, right? And so having those deep, intimate conversations with her is important. And I know that's really hard. It can be harder for some than others. And my advice on that is, the best way to have those deep conversations is to invite them into them and to talk freely about them yourself. Don't be afraid to talk deeply about yourself. Don't be afraid to talk deeply about her. And it might be a little uncomfortable for people, and it can take a lot of energy from them. It might be incredibly exhausting for them. Okay, depends on the personality type. If she's been living this long, helping people that much, tell me, Hero, what kind of helping is she doing? Is she the kind of person that is helping by doing a bunch of activities for people? Is she the kind of person that's been other people's mental health guides? Is she the one that's usually engaging people on a deep level to help them through things? Is she just a really communicative person? What way has she been helping? Because that can be some good insight into how you can help her. Because generally she's not going to take up the act of loving others that way if she doesn't speak that language. So find out what love language she speaks. Then speak that to her and engage her there, right? And that can do a lot of good to help. Heroes say, this is a lot of awesome advice from everybody. I was admittedly more focused on what I can say rather than what I could ask and invite her into. Awesome. Yeah. Joe and I have had a lot of deep conversations. And part of that is, when Joe was going through some intense emotional attacks. And, those are spiritual attacks by demons. And also those are self-attacks by, in Joe's case, it was a lot of self-denial for a really, really long time. And just toxic behavior from his surroundings. And then none of it was his fault, right? And so I can't say, I know I'm not in any way the sole helper of Joe, right? By any stretch. I was an agent that helped, but by no means was I the most helpful agent, nor even, and especially not the most helpful, right? The most helpful agent for Joe was Joe and perhaps God and the spirits around him, the angels, his guardian angel, Holy Spirit, whatever, right? Maybe those agents were probably the most helpful. The second most, the therapist, right? The therapist helped a ton. And if you can get them into the line of thinking that they begin to want to be happy, then the therapy might be the next step, right? Until they want to be happy themselves, therapy is probably not going to do anything, because they're not going to accept anything the therapist has to say, because they don't want to be happy in the first place. They don't want to be better, right? So you kind of got to get them to that level to begin with. And so if they do believe in God, I think there's a lot that you can do there. In terms of, well, I mean, you already said they're a really kind person, so you can do a lot with that. If they're a really kind person, right? That means they're a very loving person, right? Help them to define love and redefine it in a way that allows it to be acceptable for themselves to be loved, right? Another way to do that is kindness. If they don't believe in love, they might believe in kindness. And clearly they do, because they've been kind to others. They care about others enough to say, well, I'm going to hold on and let everybody else kind of eventually forget about me before I, pass. There's a lot wrapped up into there that they're thinking about other people. You can utilize that. And again, you don't have to tell them, but invite them into the conversation about that concept and what drives them into wanting to do those things. Why are they so kind? Why are they so thoughtful? Why are they, and not in a way that questions like them to say, well, don't be. Of course, throughout those conversations, continue to uplift them and be like, yeah, I completely agree with that. That is so awesome. Every time you can say you agree with something that's good, right? It resets it into the foundation as a good attribute that they should have. It's okay to disagree with them from time to time. That's okay. If you see things get heated, obviously, you never want to put them in a position where they feel like they have to defend themselves, right? So the intention is to never put anyone in the defense. As soon as anyone goes into the defensive, their mind completely closes down, and then nothing gets done, right? And so obviously you have to be careful with your words. But Hero, you are super kind. You are thoughtful. You are caring. You care about this person a lot. So chances are you're not attacking them. And so it's important to make that clear in how you talk to them, and just say, hey, my intention isn't to, like, if they say something you disagree with, you can say, hey, you know what? That's kind of an interesting perspective. I never really thought about it that way. Maybe you can help me wrap my mind around that. And then they'll explain it. And then you might still just say, you know what? By no means am I attacking you. I have a different perspective on that. Do you mind if I share? And that might make them feel a little bit weary, but they'll probably invite you into sharing at least. And then you can share your opinion and say, it's interesting because, you're you, I'm me. We understand things differently about the world, and that's okay. It's just nice to be able to understand each other, how each other are thinking. So that can be something that helps navigate conversations better in the future, but also can be something that can slowly reform their mind. The point is through every conversation to instill the desire of good and holiness and hope and all of those kinds of things. Because if you can eventually get their brain to start having the habitual thought of, well, what's the hopeful thought in this kind of context? What's the loving thought in this context? If you can make them think holy things, it will start to push them out of the sand, right? Out of the dirt that they're in. It will start to raise them up out of the dirt as things start to shake down and they start to deal with their problems or not deal with their problems, whatever it is, as they start to examine the world around them. So your goal is not to, as you encounter them and engage with them, your goal is not to prove them wrong. Do like I said, I told you so, or is not to correct every little thing that they think that is not helpful. There are opinions out there, and some opinions are really unhealthy opinions, and some opinions are healthy opinions. I mean, that's the truth. But your goal is not to necessarily change her opinions right now. The main goal is to help her find a habit of looking at things that are good. Find the habit of thinking about things in good ways, so that when she looks at herself, she will see little glimmers and glimpses of hope tied in. Mm-hmm. And that's the start. That's the seed that you need there before anything else will start to work, right? So if you can get there, and some of that can be helped. Some of that is just like literally being like, sometimes people just need to like see they're not the only one suffering from this. And that's not necessarily what I mean. Sometimes people need a label. And I know that labels a lot of times are limiting and prohibiting and so on and so forth. And we don't really want to stick with labels, but to be like, hey, this is you're diagnosed with this. Being diagnosed means that there's hope. because you're not the only one, and doctors know how to solve it because you have something that's potentially solvable, right? The scary part is when, you know, you're diagnosed with something that no one knows and no one can figure out what the diagnosis is, so you're therefore unsolvable, so therefore you can't be solved, so you are where you are forever and nothing can be done. You know, sometimes just being able to associate with other people that are experiencing it or know that other people are can be a glimmer of hope. Can be like, hey, you know what? I have a place in this world too, just like those people who are suffering with this as well. I'm not saying that that's always appropriate, but in some people's cases, it has helped. My point is, it's okay. However it happens, it's okay. The most important thing is that some seed of hope can be found that can be directed at self. And that is where therapy will finally start to work. And so the next step after that is probably therapy, because they have a lot to work through. And to be honest, the professional is the best answer there. They're at this moment, they're not going to be willing to do a therapist, right? That's just where it is. Yeah. So your job is to take her on the adventure, ask her the deep questions, be with her, be a guide to some extent, one that is constantly aimed and pointed at hope no matter what she says. You're the person that's there, that can be that beacon that, you know, when times get rough, she can come to you and know that you will satisfy that hope that she needs in her life, you know? And when times are doing happy, you know, when she finds happy moments, she can come to you and feel like she can rejoice with you because you're one of the people that is encountering her in this way, right? You're one of the people that are intimate with her. She needs an intimate relationship. Like, that's what she really needs. She needs someone who can hear her for who she is deeply inside, and someone who then she can then communicate that to when she goes through happiness or goes through trials. She needs someone that she feels connected to, like deeply. And I'm not saying deeply in a romantic way. Don't let it go there. I mean, honestly, don't let it go there.
Right.
But let it be something
she's not
personal.
in a good spot for that.
Yeah, let it be something personal and real. No romance allowed. Personal and real intimacy. Like, this is a person that's real with me. And this is a person that is, like, always on point. You're a rock she can lean on. You're a foundation she can put her thoughts onto and then build on your foundation and then take it for herself. Does that make sense? Like, that is actually going to happen. If you can find yourself there and you can invite her into those conversations and let her talk, at some point, as you speak, you will be a second foundation unto her. She has her own foundation. She will look to you and see your foundation that is holiness and grounded and solid and can take any kind of beating, right? And she will start to build thoughts of her mind instead of on her own foundation. She will build them on your foundation and then grab them and use them for herself. That is literally something that happens because she's going to think about you in the way that you think and then be able to do that. And it will be subconscious. She won't be trying to do that, but that is something that happens. So if you can be that pillar of light, that solid foundation, that sense of hope, that one that always glorifies the good, the one that brings joy, the one that is willing to talk, willing to ask her thoughts, willing to go deep into her thoughts and examine her foundations, right? And being interested in her genuinely and willing to grow together. And I think that should be ultimately my last statement is grow together.
Mm-hmm.
Grow together. Keep that in your mind at all times. Grow together. When she says something that's interesting, you should respond, I find that really interesting. That's something that I feel like I have to think about. That's something that I want to know more about. Grow together. Because that act of growing together is, well, I mean, one, it's contagious. It becomes the goal. It becomes awesome. And that's, if you can focus on the idea of grow together, eventually she'll be ready quite soon for therapy. But more so, if you're growing together, she won't see you as someone who's scolding her or trying to push her. She'll see you as someone who's learning, someone who's trying to grow, someone who's trying to grow themselves, and that is inspiring. When I first started to work on myself and try to grow in who I was, that's when I noticed the most change in people around me. Because all of a sudden they caught that contagion caught on to them, and they were like, I want to grow too. That's really cool. I want to do that. Right? So always focus on grow together, focus on asking her, letting her speak her mind, right? But always grow together. That's the positivity you really want for the whole conversation. That's the overarching feel you want. You want her to know that you are growing through her conversations that you have with her. Okay? Let her know that you are growing from the conversations you have with her about her. Why? That'll be super rewarding internally for her. It will slowly convert her mind into wanting to grow, which will create the habit of self-growth and self-importance and self-worth that she needs to grow, and then finally probably seek a therapist, right? So grow. Your intention is to get it into her mind that you are growing through every conversation that you have with her, because that will encourage her to keep wanting it. And then you will also grow with it, and she will grow with it, and you'll grow together. And that is the journey. That, I would say, that's probably the goal you want. Remember earlier I said, go on an adventure with her. What is the adventure? It's having a common goal. What is the goal? The goal is grow together. That's my best advice here, hero. And I think I can't really even say anything better than that. So I'm going to give it over to Joe. Joe has gone through a lot. So I know from his perspective, he's probably got a lot of really good things to say because he knows probably her side of it, at least in more recent times than I do. So I want to give it over to Joe, and that's what we're doing.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. You know, this is so weird because we're kind of flip-flopped on our responses for this one. You a lot of times when we go through this, and you said in your question there, hero, that you were looking for things you can do with her, and then also spiritual. You're looking for physical and spiritual, advice in this case. And you're Catholic. That helps a lot because I'm Catholic and Ryan's Catholic, and so we can give you Catholic advice. And we don't have to necessarily plow through a whole bunch of, background to explain to you why this is going to work. But so Ryan went through the practical. Usually I'm the one that goes through the practical stuff.
Yeah, usually that's flip-flop. That's true.
And Ryan goes through the spiritual and all that kind of stuff. So but I can tell you that when I went through all of this, it was a very, very much a spiritual journey, a very spiritual battle when I was going through what it sounds like she's going through. I went through the point, I got to the point where existence itself didn't make any sense. Not only my own existence, but all of existence. And I would argue with God. I would fight with God. I would swear at God. I would not swear to God, swear at God. Right? We were fighting, or he wasn't fighting me. I was fighting him. I was going through the thick of some nonsense, just crazy stuff, man. And I was like, why did you make anything? I remember yelling at him while I was praying. I'm like, why did you make anything at all? Why even start this whole thing? If you knew, which you did, because you're all knowing, why would you even start any of this stuff? And I was mad. I was mad. I was severely depressed. And just going through this major crisis of existence. And, people might call that an existential crisis, but I lumped an existential crisis in with, my own existence. Why do I exist? What's my meaning in life? What's my purpose in life? And I was beyond that to God, why did you even make anything? because it all is terrible. Right? And then there's Ryan, who's got this he's got this bulletproof attitude, bulletproof kindness, just wonderful. Everything's great. And I'm just like, how can you be like that? Like, what?
I remember we had really good conversations though. And as just as a testament, we would have really long conversations about God. And I was like, man, I love this. I feel like I'm growing so much. And I mean, it was true that I was. I mean, I love talking about those kinds of things with you. And the things you had to say were very deep and impactful and important. And there's a lot of truth to be unveiled there, despite you being in that sort of state. You were coming to a lot of conclusions that were really deep and beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you're absolutely right. There was a lot there to plow through, and there was a deep spiritual battle that happened. And I would encourage you to not discount that that's what's going on here. There's a lot unseen that is going on here. Whenever somebody's being caused to hate themselves, I can almost guarantee you there's spiritual there are spiritual things happening that make this really, really difficult. And Hero, you said just now in the chat, I like that a lot. Trying to grow every day is what I do and sometimes fail at often. I love that. So, okay. So with all that said, I'm going to tell you some stuff that you can do spiritually. Ryan went through a whole bunch of practical things that you can do with her. And I'm so proud of you, Ryan, and you too, Super Neon Blue.
No romance.
I'm so proud of
you. This is not
both.
Appropriate at this moment.
Romance is not appropriate.
That's so funny. Thanks for being proud of me.
I'm so proud of both of you. So anyway, ever, yes.
Ever.
So here we go. There's spiritual battle going on. You can pray to your guardian angel. You can pray to her guardian angel. What does this mean? I know we probably have non-Catholic people that are watching this. And so praying to a saint or praying to an angel, I know non-Catholic Christians kind of get all like geared up about that. They're like, I pray to God. God's the only one I can pray. No, all we're doing is asking them to pray for us. Right?
I'm asking for some help.
Because here's the thing. Any of the saints' power comes from God. And it's really when we pray to a saint, we're asking for them to pray to God for us. And there's a few reasons we do that. To explain this and to arm you, Hero, that this is legitimate, I'm going to refer you to Revelation 5:8 and James 5:16. Those two verses kind of, when you put them together, it kind of puts together this picture of why prayer to the saints is so helpful. And honestly, I remember I was so mad at God. I had to pray to saints because I'm like, Mary, talk to God, because I can't right now. I can't talk to that guy. Talk to him for me. Right? But anyway, so James 5:16 talks about the prayer of the righteous availeth much. The prayer of the righteous avails much, right? So it's kind of like on a scale. If we're righteous, then our prayers will have more power. That's straight out of Scripture, James 5:16. What could be more righteous than a person in heaven? Free from sin. And we're asking them to pray for us. And so their prayers are powerful, especially our Blessed Mother, Mary. And I can tell you, asking for her intercession has helped me through so many different things. So many different things. Yep. A lot of time, Ellie says, a lot of time I'll ask Jesus to pray for me too. I don't know how that aligns with Catholicism, but that's what I do a lot. That's totally fine. Although you can pray to Jesus because Jesus also is God, right? He's part of the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. So he's a person of God. And you can certainly...
He also does pray.
He prays for us.
I mean,
and
how
he prays to God the Father for us. The Holy Spirit prays to God the Father for us. All that, right? And so you can definitely pray to them, ask them to pray to God the Father for us, all that stuff, right? Revelation 5:8 talks about angels bringing up bowls of incense to the throne, and those bowls, the incense in those bowls is the prayers of the saints. So we see that the prayers of the saints are in the book of Revelation. So pray to our mother, Mary. Another one, since this is spiritual warfare going on, Saint Benedict. Huge. Saint Benedict of Nursia, I believe. He's the founder of the monastic life. So anytime you hear about monks, he was the first one. Yeah, the first, and he was also one of the most powerful exorcists in history.
Wow.
And so anytime there's spiritual warfare going on, Saint Benedict, ask for his prayers, for his intercessions. If you can get a Benedictine medal for the reminders, it's not the object that has the power, it's you and the prayers surrounding it. Right? So Saint Benedict, Saint Mary, our Blessed Mother, Saint Dymphna is
yes,
patron saint of mental illness. And here's what I would say also, Hero. I love that you said, I like trying to grow every day is already what I do and sometimes fail at often. Go to confession. I don't know how often you go. I don't know how often you go to Mass. But go to confession. Because what that does, that absolves our sins, right? When we go to confession, we repent. We've been given, Christ gave power to the priesthood. This is in the book of John or Matthew, one of the two, I can't remember, but where he breathed on the apostles after the resurrection. He said, receive the Holy Spirit. Whoever sins you forgive are forgiven. Whoever sins you retain are retained. That's the founding of the sacrament of confession, where he gave the apostles the power to absolve sins. And so then when we go to a priest and we go to confession and we're contrite, we're truly contrite in our hearts, that priest has the power to absolve sins. And what that does, that because our sins are absolved, we now are more righteous, which means our prayers are going to be more powerful. Right?
It's John, by the way.
What's that?
It was John, by the way.
John? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, John, 2023.
Okay, perfect. Yep. So you go to confession. You have your sins absolved. Your prayers now have more power. And when you go to Mass, when you're at Mass, here's what you can do. You can offer intentions at Mass, just in your heart. When they're doing the prayers of the faithful, even before Mass, you can kneel and you can pray. You can be like, God, please, I'm going to offer this Mass for my friend, whatever her name is. And then there's a point in the Mass that's the high point of the Mass. It's during the liturgy of the Eucharist. And it's basically, so right after the priest changes the bread and the wine into Jesus, where he says, he holds up the bread and the bread becomes Jesus. He holds up the wine becomes Jesus. And then the prayer that happens right after he holds each one of those up, he prays this prayer. And in that prayer, what he's doing is he's offering to God the Christ, right? Because he's got Christ on the altar. He's got the bread and the wine, which are now Jesus. He's offering that in sacrifice to God the Father. And I can't remember, one of the letters of Paul, it might be in Corinthians, where he says, our sacrifice is ourselves. Like we are the sacrifice. And what that moment in the Mass is when we do it. When we offer ourselves along with the sacrifice of Christ to God the Father. And we can offer ourselves for whatever intention. I would do it all the time for my kids, for my friends, for whoever. I offer myself along with that offering of Christ to God the Father. I offer myself for whatever intention it is. And you can do that for your friend. And it's the most powerful after you've been to confession. But you can still do it. It doesn't matter. It's still gonna be, powerful. And then it culminates when he holds up both, the bread and the wine, the body and precious blood. And he says, through him, with him, in him, O God, Almighty Father, in the unity of the Holy Spirit, all glory and honor is yours forever and ever. And then there's the great amen, right? That, in that moment, God, I just got chills saying that. But in that moment, that's when that's all happening. The offering of the sacrifice of Christ to God the Father, and we together in the laity, in the congregation, are offering ourselves along with Christ. That's the time in the Mass that's happening. Okay, you've been lifting up rosaries and masses for her when I can. I really like the idea of focusing on the offertory prayer specifically. Yeah. And for the suggestion on saints, yeah, look up saints. There's multiple saints to help with mental illness. Patron saints of mental illness, patron saints of self-esteem, patron saints, all these guys, right? But because of the spiritual warfare aspect, I would definitely recommend Saint Benedict and Our Lady. And you can ask, I remember I've asked my guardian angel to go help out somebody else's guardian angel.
You can do that.
I do that all the time. I'm like, hey, you know what? Hey, thanks for all your help, buddy, but you can go help out so-and-so's guardian angel. Help them out. But yeah, so armed with all of that, that's a way that you can kind of navigate some of the spiritual side of things. And these are things you can do when you're not with her. Because, like I said in the beginning, she's going to have to come to these conclusions on her own. No matter how many times you tell her she's worthwhile and that she's a worthwhile human being, it will go in one ear and right out the other. Ryan, your niece, your oldest niece, who is like one of the most spiritually profound, like loving and caring and everything, she would tell me I'm awesome and I would not believe her.
Yeah. Right. She's amazing though.
Yep. She is. She'd be like, you're so awesome, blah, 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 blah. And I'd say, thank you. And then one day, like, she's like, you don't believe me, do you?
Right.
Like,
she's smart.
Yep. So then, Hero, I want to give you a little assignment too. I've already given you tons of assignment. Go to confession, go to Mass. Rosaries are incredibly powerful, and those are helpful too. If you get a catechism, you probably have a copy of the catechism. So, all right. So catechism paragraph 1, you can start with the prologue, right? Paragraph 1 talks about God, infinitely perfect and blessed in himself, in a plan of sheer goodness, freely created man to make him share in his own blessed life. That's why we were created, to share in God's life. And I remember it coming, like when I was like, God, why did you make any of this stuff? Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, dude, what would you do if you were all by yourself for all eternity and you had nothing? Like, wouldn't you want some company?
That was also not you. Perfectly you.
Right. And I was like,
With its
all
own
right,
bow.
all right, all right. I'm starting to get it, right? Okay, so you can start with there. And so right off the bat in paragraph 1, it's right there. And then you can fast forward to paragraph 1700. And it starts a section on life in the spirit, which is my favorite section of the catechism. And starting with paragraph 1700, he talks about the dignity of the human person.
And that one's huge.
Now, these aren't things that you're going to go and read and then just like quote them to your friend. I'm not recommending that, especially if she's not religious. These are things to arm you, to help you be thinking right. And then right after 1700, I think it's paragraph 1716. Yes, paragraph 1716 starts by listing the Beatitudes, which tells me that your friend is in a really good position. It's a painful position. And it's hard. And it's hard to watch a friend go through this. But right there, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Right? Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. What could be more meek than like putting anyone above ourselves? Now, I know there's a different definition that like meekness doesn't mean hating yourself. Humility doesn't mean thinking that you're not important, but what it means is putting yourself in the proper position, right? But so those are some things in the catechism, and I would recommend reading the whole prologue of the catechism also, and then start with paragraph 1700 and go through that section. You can go, I don't know, you go a ways while they're talking about man in the image of God. They're talking about like the Beatitudes, the desire for happiness, which your friend seems to have lost. And I know when you haven't been happy so long, and you're just like, you give up on ever being happy again. It's tough. But these are things for you to do for you, not for her.
Yeah.
But this is going to help you be the person to do all those things that Ryan talked about in the most effective way possible. It's going to build you into who you need to be to actually have an impact here. And then when you utilize the saints and your prayer life and the mass and confession and other sacraments, the sacraments you have available to you, when you utilize those properly, you can then direct your prayers, and they can be very, very powerful. And along with the prayers of the saints that are already powerful, it's going to help her in that spiritual battle. And that, coupled with some therapy, like Ryan was talking about, could actually start to break through to her and understand you are worthwhile. You are a worthwhile human being. Ellie said to me not too long ago, she was talking about, God was looking down and said, my world just wouldn't be the same without Joe Anderson in it. And that meant a lot.
Yeah.
That the world wouldn't be the place that I want it to be without Joe Anderson in there. And it's the same for your friend.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Beautiful.
So, all right. So there you go. There's a spiritual side of some stuff and some explanation, and it's probably exhausting, and I apologize, but I live on this stuff. So
Yeah, I think that's awesome, Joe. I have to get hand to you. I think that was very well put, and it should really be hit home. You've said it multiple times, and I want to say the same thing. This isn't for you to correct her. These aren't tools that we're arming you with so that you can fight off other people of
right,
different religions or similar religions or the same religion who just have things differently
right,
opinionated. Right?
right.
None of this is to arm you with weapons. This is all to arm you with so that the way everything is processed into your brain comes out of your mouth and out of your brain in a godly manner,
Mm-hmm.
in a way that is God oriented, that is in a way that is holy and helpful for them, rather than weapons or tools to use to fix them or push them or whatever, right? Because the more you can be an example of goodness in the world, the more goodness they'll have in their life
Mm-hmm.
through your interaction. And the more that they can see there is good and recognize it, the more that they're going to be willing to change.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, and Subinyan said this, Subinyan Blue said this, and I'll just reiterate it. Um, they need a new definition of love. They need a new definition of holiness. They need a new definition of goodness, and that it's real and it's worth pursuing. Because at this moment, whatever their definition is, even though they might not be clearly defined, it's the way they think about things. They haven't included themselves in any of it, and so help be the guiding light there, not by not by yeah, not by trying to fix her necessarily. Obviously, that's part of it. Um, you know, we're all healed by God and His presence in our lives. But that's not that's not necessarily the point isn't to take a pitchfork and start poking her into the right direction, right?
Right.
So, yeah. So, and I think you know that, Hero. I just want to reiterate what Joe was saying. I think that's really important.
Yes. And
It's to arm
again,
you for your own spiritual battle, so that you can be someone who's put on display for her.
yeah. Well, because here's the thing: when you start doing this, when you start helping, you think the spiritual powers around her that are giving her all this trouble, you think they're gonna like it?
Right? Think they're not going to lash out on you,
They're not gonna like
right?
it. But here's the thing: like you've got Christ behind you, you've got God behind you, and so you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about any of their attacks. Now, here's the thing: there could be there. You will get hit with stuff, and it'll be weird stuff. It might not make any sense. Like, I don't know how likely you are to have romantic feelings for this person. Maybe you are, maybe not. I don't know. But I would definitely keep that aspect in the forefront of my mind when I'm asking for Mary's prayers specifically, because I know that that's helped me a lot in having a proper view of women in general. Like, please pray that I can have a proper view of women. I got burned like really bad, and so it's like I did not have a proper view of women.
Well, yeah.
And to help with that, and especially this individual and the relationship that you guys have, and who knows in the future after some healing has taken place, I don't know if romance is on the table or not. Who knows? But like Ryan said, like Super Neon Blue said, this isn't the time for that, because all that's going to do
And how,
that
Hero,
entanglement that entanglement is just going to damage both of you right now,
yeah.
unfortunately.
And Hero said already that that's not something that's on the table. So
Good.
good.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it would be good to maintain that, and ask for the proper view of her, proper view of this situation, all that. Because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's interesting. But All right. So I don't know. That's what I got. Ryan, do you have anything else on this one?
No, I think that's a great point to end it off on. I think there's a ton to digest.
Mm-hmm.
So Hero, I would suggest listening to it twice, especially Joe's part, so you can pick up some of those. I know you wrote the notes down, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's definitely worth potentially listening to again, but diving into the material that Joe was trying to equip you with, so that you can be the best person you can be, and you're already working for that every day, as you said. So that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
And then just be the kind of person that's welcoming her on that same journey, and say, "Hey, look, I'm trying to grow myself. I want you to be a part of it."
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, just say those words. You could say those. You could say that exact sentence.
Right.
And you know what? She's got an attitude already that says, "Okay, I'm on board," because she values you. But then it's going to be something that desire for self growth will hopefully kind of come into her, and also be a habit she's something she's willing to uptake for herself, and then that was going to be some seeds that need to be planted to begin the journey really for her. So there's a lot to do, a lot to process, but I think we've equipped you the best that we can. Now the rest is up to you and her
And God.
and God. Yes, for sure.
Yep. Now you've been put here, Hero. It sounds to me like there's really good chances that God put you here as one of the things that's going to help her heal. But you're not going to be able to do it alone. And you're going to need God's help. And so all the things that I talked about can help you be the best you can be. All the things Ryan talked about were like how you can be the best for her, what you can do, all those things, right? Those are all super duper important. The practical side of things is very, very important. But who you are while you're doing those practical things is also important.
It's most important.
And
It's the most important.
And just remember, you're not going to carry this by yourself. You got God, you got the saints, you got angels, you got all kinds of stuff. Oh, and I forgot. Saint Michael also is very good. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Your protection against
the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah. And offer at some point, if you feel if you know there's a comfort level, offer her to go to church with you. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But the more exposure she can have to holiness, the better. So, yeah. I'll definitely be watching this over again many times. And yeah, I have no intention. Sorry. Yeah, intention while she's dealing with this to bring romance into the equation. Nor do I expect it. I'll definitely be taking all your words to heart. Heck yeah, to this Saint Michael prayer. Yeah.
Also, write this down. Psalm 51. Pray Psalm 51. Because the Psalms it's the prayer book of the Bible. And Psalm 51 is the one, like if you can't get to confession, that's the one to do, because
it's one from David.
It's the best example of perfect contrition that we have in the Bible. And to pray through that is like basically, getting to that same fruit as you would in confession. Now, you're not going to get the same, I don't know.
It's not the same thing, but it's close as you can get.
It's not the same as priestly absolution, but it is, yes, but it is perfect contrition, and so it will clean you up. And to have that clear conscience and all that kind of stuff, I mean, that's going to be super important while you're doing this. And I know you have no intention to bring romance into the equation, nor do I expect it, but I'll tell you, romance is a sneaky devil.
Yeah. If it starts to come on, just shut it down. And if it comes on from her side, don't be afraid to shut that down for safe. That's for later. We'll do that. But for now, that's a no. That's off the table.
Pray, 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 pray. Is that Yeah, it's sneaky, man. It's sneaky.
I can tell you from my own experience, there was a girl that was having a lot of hardness in life, and she was starting to come around. She was starting to do self growth, and I was like, "Yes, this is awesome." And then, and at the beginning when we first started talking, I was like, "By the way, romance is off the table for this if we're talking, you know." And um, literally, which is the weird thing to do, but I felt comfortable with that, and she felt comfortable with that, and I just said it. I was like, "Yo, I get like that we're starting to talk more and this is awesome and you're having self growth and you're focused on that and I'm excited for you. Romance is off the table." Guess what? We both failed. Romance became a part of the thing. What happened immediately?
Oh, now you're married?
Self growth stopped. No.
Oh.
Self growth completely stopped for that person. They
When
no
you took
longer cared
romance
about
off the
it.
table?
No, when romance became part of the situation.
Oh, okay.
Because we both caved into it. So I was just saying, we had no romance because she was growing, and then as soon as we started, we were like, "No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that." And we're like, we both caved in and saying, "Okay, we'll do it," right? And then what happened? Immediately, the self growth completely stopped. She became really reliant. Then it became incredibly toxic, and then we broke up. Okay, like, and I'm not the person that's ever happened to. So if it does start to come about, be stricter than I was and just say, no, we're really not going to do that until I think we're both ready. So, yeah.
Romance became the table. I don't want to hear about you guys' what you're doing on the table.
Romance became the table. It's down. It's off the table. It is the table.
What you do on the table
Yeah.
is your business.
Yeah, she's right. We don't even have a table. So we don't do anything on the table.
Yeah, good. All right. Cool.
We don't have any tabletop games or anything.
Hero. Thank you so much. And I apologize. But yeah, this ought to equip you to handle some of this. Like there's a lot there. And yeah. It'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, thank you so much for the topic. Thanks for being patient with us while we went through this. And thank you guys that are watching for being patient with us while we unpack this. There's a lot to unpack in this. But hopefully it's helpful. And
yeah,
I know that you are in a really good position, Hero, to do some real good. And I'm proud of you.
Keep in mind,
I'm proud of you.
As you know, it's going to take a long time.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Be patient.
It's her adventure, not yours. So be patient.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And you can't just push a button, snap your fingers, and have it be fixed. I wish so much that I could do that. So much that
I know, me too. I know, me too, man.
But that's not the way it goes. We got to learn and we got to grow through things. And and it's going to be as much of a period of growth for you as it is for her. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Shoot, thank y'all for being willing to go over it. I was already knowing this would be helpful, and it was still more helpful than I could ever imagine. I appreciate that so much, Hero.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That means a lot because that just shows that we're doing what we're hoping we're here to do.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah.
Well said.
So,
yeah. Above all things, we sincerely hope that this person can find their way through this darkness, and that you also find your way through this darkness and can be that beacon of light to some degree. Obviously not the beacon of light, but a beacon of light that helps the best way. And life is an interesting thing because you might find yourself at some point just not being able to do anything. They cut off the relationship with you, but it doesn't mean that the love and intention and time that you spent with them doesn't make an impact. And 4 years later, they might message you and be like, hey, you know what? All those things you said back then, that really helped a lot. Mm-hmm. Or, I'm a different person now. And I started to realize some of the things you were talking about. That happens. So no matter how the journey goes, as long as you're a reflection of God's light in this world, things move in good directions. So keep doing that. What you're doing is already awesome. Hopefully a little bit of a change in direction for you will make all the difference. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, sincerely hope that she gets better.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Hero.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Hero. Thank you for your service in doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Just a tidbit I couldn't put in the topic because it was too long. There was a 3-year gap where I didn't hear from her at all until very recently. That's actually what prompted this topic. Hey.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. Got it.
Yeah. So you do already have some patience, and that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a long haul type of thing. One of the things that I had to learn is that you got to be in something for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's no like to take shortcuts all the time just is terrible. You're gonna be in something for the long haul, and I've learned that with in personal relationships and business and everything. It's like you gotta just be a long haul type of person and just be in it, and not give up, not be willing to give up. Know when to say when on things. That can be difficult sometimes, but sometimes that's part of being in the thing for the long haul. Is the track doesn't always go the way you think it might, and so then it takes
never goes the way you think it might.
It takes I mean, it takes a little bit of experience sometimes and some trial and error to understand. All right, now is the time for me to change direction, or now is the time for me to make an adjustment and go this way in order to have the long haul, happen the way it's supposed to. So. Yeah, but anyway, Hero, you are awesome, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for being willing to help, and I hope that what we have said can arm you for this journey, because it's an important one, and I'm proud of you for stepping up. So, yes. With that, you want to do another topic?
Of course.
All right.
I know we only got so many minutes, but
Awesome recognizes awesomer. That's right. I did recognize awesomer. And that's you, awesomer.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. So we got some topics here. We got some anonymous topics. We have one from Mianglios here. Mianglios, I don't know if you're still here or not, but this topic that we have here is the one that I think is going to take a long time.
Yeah. We need to start with that one sometime.
Yeah. So, you already solved your topic. Oh, so we could speed run it. Mianglios, you're so awesome.
Yeah, we do have it, by the way. It did send.
You're so awesome. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your willingness to be here. Hey, Savage, what's up?
Hey, Savage.
I hope the stream's still doing well. Hey, we're doing all right. Yeah. We're having a fun time.
Right, thank you.
We're being overly Catholic.
Yeah. That's good though. I don't think anyone was offended by anything we said because nothing we said was offensive.
What did you miss, Ellie? What did you miss? Oh, you begged for food.
Oh, you got some food? You missed the food. That's what you were missing, and now you got it, so you don't have to miss it anymore.
There you go. Oh, Mianglio says, honestly, that topic is mostly just when there's no other topics. I gotcha. Okay.
As per usual, that's right.
You forgot to eat today. Well, but you remembered. You forgot until now, I'm guessing. No, you remember.
I've been there many times.
Oh, you needed to fix that, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You're so welcome, and thank you for being here and posting something so important on the topics for us.
Oh, is the music video that you guys are working on? Is it? It's a sequel.
Yes,
to
it
that
is.
One
it's a sequel
song?
to the Neat. Yeah, that one song is probably the best way to sum it up because this title, the name of it is "That Time I Got Resurrected as a Neat in a Fantasy World, but I'm Powerless Just Like My Last Life." It's a long title. And the reason I can say it like that is because I've been saying it every day, or not every day. I've been saying it twice a week for the last 3 weeks or something, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, something. I don't know.
I'm telling you what.
Multiple times a stream.
Yep.
We've been streaming for like 12 hours every or twice a week now. So if you guys want to check it out, you can go to Twitch. Actually, can we make Super Neon Blue a mod so she can just put that in?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
How do we do
that's
that? Where's
the
Super Neon Blue here?
Hero. That's the title. But also, you got flagged for saying that because
Boom.
Google, YouTube just thought you were spamming. TTIGRAANIAFWBIPJLMLL. Is that what you're talking about? It still is way too long. I just call it neat.
It is a neat song. Look at that. Super Neon Blue
song.
is now blue with a wrench.
There you go.
Blue wrench.
Yeah.
Boom.
Awesome. Thank you, sweetheart. You're awesome. So if you guys want to check that out, we do that on Eastern time. It's Tuesday, and well, anyways, you can go there and you can look at the schedule. It'll show you right what time it is for you on your time zone. So if you want to check it out, there you are. The wrench mean?
Go ahead.
Mod. Yeah, it means you're a moderator, so you can tell people to be banned if you want.
Yep, you get to like review the chat, you know, and because sometimes people say stuff and it doesn't come through, and we gotta like approve it. So yeah, and that way they can post links. There's different stuff like that. Isn't that the reason that we did it just now, so she could post a link?
Yeah, so she could post a link. Yeah. Yeah. If you have a spare 12 hours, you could go and watch them. Or if you have only 6 hours, you can watch it on double speed. But better yet, what we do is we run it for that long, so you can stop in at the beginning of your day or the end of the day or whatever, just for a little bit and hang with us, like it's a cafe and like we're just drinking coffee or having a little meal together and just chatting about stuff. Because that's what the overall feel is like. It's really awesome.
Yeah,
we've been really enjoying it.
What do you guys do on your stream? Actually, you know what? Honestly, let's just chill for the next handful of minutes. Let's not jump into another topic.
Yeah,
let's just hang out. We should just hang out with the people in our chat, shouldn't we? Wouldn't that be a good idea?
So.
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
Do some hanging out.
Oh, hey, Darkwing. Hey, welcome. Oh my gosh,
Darkwing.
nice to see you here. We do have a really old topic from you from September 4th, but I know that you've probably long forgotten it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's called Undue Guilt.
Yeah.
You don't remember.
We're not gonna. Yeah, I don't remember. That's totally fine. We're not gonna cover it right now. We're just gonna hang out. But yeah, thanks.
We could make origami giraffes. You can see on this channel. There's a tutorial.
There is a tutorial for it, and it's very comprehensive.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's not comprehensive at all. Go and find out.
Yes. And you're right, Shade. Double speed works wonders for watching long content, except for this weird. Like, I remember I was on somebody's website, and I don't know if they were using, like, it wasn't on YouTube. It was on their website, and it was the only place you could watch this video, right? And I hit to double speed, and then all I had was audio for the rest of the time. The video stayed on the screen.
Oh, weird.
When I hit, it was so weird. I was like, maybe I should email him. And then I was like, nah, I don't care. Whatever.
What? Yeah, I've never seen that before. That's funny.
Who wants to draw dragons? I don't know if you can tell, but you like dragons. Is that what your PFP is? It's so small. The PFPs are so small.
Yeah. It's hard to see some of them. I can see Savage. There's a letter S. It's very clear.
Rah. And Helmarock Hero, obviously, that's Link. I think I've known that.
Yeah, Link.
And Rising Dawn Studios, that is a picture of an Ellie.
Oh, I thought it was a picture of the Rising Dawn.
Oh, yeah, that too.
I thought it was the sun coming up for tomorrow.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Wait. That's way too close to Gyat Hero.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Did you mean to say Gyat and hit the...
Oh. I didn't know that, August. Card capture Sakura. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I mean, I only watched a bit of the series. I never finished it, but
Procrastination. I'm good at that too.
unofficial logo, yeah. Oh yeah, procrastination's the best. Okay, it's not.
Oh, it's supposed to be a
Don't
linked
procrastinate, guys.
scream. I gotcha. An
That makes sense.
unfortunate coincidence. I
Yeah.
was like, wait, are you Gen Alpha? Like, I was like,
No. I'm constantly changing my profile picture. Yeah, fair. That's totally okay. It makes it hard though. I will let you know that a lot of us are visual and not necessarily. Your name luckily stands out enough that I know who you are.
Well, you've been around for a while.
You've been around for long enough that when I see Darkwing, I know who you are. But like, if you were someone new and you joined one time and then the next stream you came, but you had a different profile picture, I would be so lost. I'd be like, who is this? The name is kind of familiar, but I don't remember anything about them. But we could have had like a 20-minute conversation, but I wouldn't remember because it's like looking at a new face and trying to remember the story. It's hard. I got wrists like that. Oh my gosh, bro.
Darkwing Duck, man. I remember Darkwing Duck. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, exactly.
Talk
right.
about,
and that's
wow.
Darkwing Duck. When in trouble, you call DW.
Yes.
Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that.
See you later,
I used
Hero.
to. Oh, see you, Hero. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for the topic.
And thanks for the dabs.
When I was doing inspections, every once in a while, I just roll down my window at a light and just start belting Darkwing Duck while everyone's like sitting in their cars with their windows down. I'm like, yeah, and I roll up. I'm like, that's right, that's the best song. Then hopefully they're
dangerous.
They're carrying on the rest of the day singing that song.
Yeah,
it's such a good tune.
It is. It gets stuck in your head easy though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's very catchy. Well,
loading.
Savage, you're loading. Yes. You found the emojis. Yes, they're there. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of cool ones there.
You found them.
There's a bunch of them. Well, here we go. Trophy. You win. You win the trophy for finding the emojis.
The emoji trophy?
Yeah, there you go. And also, you're number one. There you go. Boom.
You're number one.
Yeah.
I wanna be a nerd for a second and say, actually they're emoticons and not emojis.
Oh, you're gonna be that guy. Yeah, that's right. Emojis are the text ones, right? Like
that's right.
Like this.
That's an emoji.
That's an emoji. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Joe's is an emoji. The rest of you guys are using emoticons.
Those are emoticons.
And I know you probably some of you have like an Apple phone.
But everybody says they're emojis. It's not just the Apple phone.
It's because, well, everyone calls them emojis now, but Apple was the first big company to mess it up, and now everyone calls them emojis instead of emoticons. Actually, that's it. That's what I was. Thank you. You got it. Thank you. Thanks, Savage. He's got my back.
Yes, and there you go, Ellie. That is an emoji, right? That's an emoji.
Yeah. So. And how do you know the difference? Well, emo obviously stands for emotion, but one ends in icon. Iconography. Icon means picture. Okay? It's an emotional picture. Icon means picture. G means character in Chinese and Japanese.
Oh.
The word for character is G, and it's character as in letter or symbol. So, emoji means emotion done in little characters. Emoticon means emotions displayed in picture. And that's the difference.
Emo stands for tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
Oh no, Ellie. Tonight will be the night. Okay, anyways. It's supposed to be yeah, you can tell where that's supposed to be.
Is that an emo song?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if it's an emo song or if it was someone just singing a random melody, but he's got the emo voice. It became a meme.
What is it? Where's the food? Now I'm gonna be
I've been lied to my
hungry.
whole life. I know, Darkwing. I'm so sorry. I'm
It's
so sorry that they lied to you.
yes. I also am hungry. Hungry.
Wow, all those animals
Scene
and the
girl.
fruit and the
Scene
fruits look
girl.
really cute.
I don't. I don't know that. I don't know this song. Scene
That's
girl.
real. It is okay. Scene girl.
Or that you are a scene girl because
Rising Dawn
because
Studios
you're
might be
making a
scene.
scene. You're making a scene on our stream.
That's
And it's
right.
totally awesome. We love it. So keep
Don't
doing
make me
it.
don't make me change my mind.
Dab.
Oh, is that a burrito?
Boom.
Oh, dang. That burrito looks good. I want to
All
eat a
those
burrito.
foods that Super Neon Blue put up there are good, especially the steak.
I know.
The fruits can go jump off a cliff.
Oh, Darkwing, you just ate 3 servings of pasta. What kind of pasta? Tell me about it. I love pasta.
Keep rolling.
I'm gonna span you with good songs. It's a good
The
idea. Joe
raw
likes that.
steak. You know what? I like almost raw steak. I like it rare.
You don't like it blue? You like it pink, not blue.
Pink, not blue.
That's right.
What do you mean blue?
If you order a steak blue, it means you want it basically literally uncooked.
Oh. Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. Blue means it. The word that the term blue in steak means either A, you don't even put it on the grill, or it means you put it on the grill for like a millisecond just to like touch the grill, but not actually cook. And it's one of those two, but I'm pretty sure blue basically just means no cook. It basically is like as raw as you can possibly get.
So it's cold, like blue, like cold.
Yes, it is cold.
Like cold.
Yeah.
I don't
cold,
like
yeah,
it cold.
cold.
It's got to be warm at least in the middle.
But
I do like
it. Yeah, you know what?
I do like it exceptionally bloody, and the mushy doesn't bother me. You know, I don't mind it being a little bit mushy in there. Now chicken, chicken's got to be fully cooked.
Okay, it says, if you're a steak lover, you've probably heard of the term blue steak. It's a type of steak that's cooked for a very short amount of time, resulting in a delicious, adventurous steak that's barely cooked on the inside with a seared crust on the outside. Okay, so they sear it, and then it's more rare than rare, though.
Okay. Man, I remember a guy ordering a burger one time when I worked at a bar and grill. And I was a cook. He ordered a burger mooing, right? And that's what it said on the ticket. It said mooing. And,
mooing.
And he wanted just some lines put on it, but it's still red.
Yeah, that's what blue is. That's
and
what blue's supposed to.
And I kept overcooking it. I went through like 3 burgers before I got it right. Because I'd like put it down, and then I'd put it, and I'd flip it, and it was too much.
Wow!
Every time it's like,
he's being really.
This is too cooked. This is too cooked. I'm like, dude, like, bro.
Like this is.
And so
we're not legally allowed to not cook the meat, but.
Yeah. Well, then somebody ordered broasted chicken. You know, broasted chicken. You ever had broasted chicken? It's like
what's broasted again?
It's basically fried. Like it's a patented. It's a brand called broasted chicken, like a broaster, and it's basically a special type of deep fried chicken, right?
Okay.
And this machine, it's a special machine that you get from this broaster company, right? And you got this special chicken that you get from this broaster company, and it's got this perfect, like weird seasoning, like KFC, but it's like this.
Okay.
But the broasted is a brand, right? And so this guy comes in and he wants broasted chicken mooing. He wanted like, yeah, exactly. What in the what?
It's wrong on every level.
He wanted it mooing.
So you want me to throw a chicken? You want me to throw a chicken into the deep fryer and pull it out before it dies, which is going to be instant essentially. But okay, let's assume that's possible. It still won't moo because it's a chicken.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly.
It's gonna
right.
balk.
Like it's gonna right.
I love it.
But even still, like but that was his way. That's the way they say, "Hey, I want it really, really, really rare." Right.
Yeah,
But we
you
can't
can't
do
have
cooking
rare chicken.
rare. Chicken, it's legal. Like there's a
It,
legal thing in Michigan, at least,
yeah,
where you cannot
no,
undercook. You
every
can't
state
serve
has
undercooked
that.
chicken, right?
Yeah,
So that's one
that's all
thing.
of
So it's against
America.
the law. And then the other thing was because of the way the broaster is, like the thing, like it would lock with a timer. So like
So I think they were
it's
trolling on every level.
it was impossible to undercook it. because
I'm pretty
because the thing
sure
would lock.
I'm pretty sure they were just trying to troll at every level. They're like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna order something that's impossible. A
Yeah.
broasted chicken mooing.
Yeah, we can't do
It's
that.
wrong in like
It's
so
just
many
like
levels.
we can't do it legally. We can't do it physically because the machine doesn't allow us to cook it for less than 10 minutes. Right?
And it is reality because chickens don't moo. And yeah.
Yep. Have we talked about Fortnite yet? No,
Oh,
but
wow.
should we? What about Fortnite?
Ordering chicken mooing is like Fortnite.
It's basically Fortnite. You know,
Mm-hmm.
roasted chicken from Fortnite.
Y'all don't eat medium rare chicken? No. Nope.
You mean chicken from Fortnite?
Yeah, it's from chicken from Fortnite. Salmon vanilla?
Salmon vanilla.
Yeah.
New skin check. We should do roasted chicken. What?
Roasted chicken skin?
No, our disclaimer says we're not professionals, Ellie.
Uh-oh. I haven't played this season, says Mianglios.
I've barely played this season. I even bought the battle pass, and I only got to like level 40 something or 50 something. No, maybe
That's
up
more
to
than me.
60 something. And it's like, and
I haven't touched
the
it.
season ends in like 2 days.
Mm.
I'm not gonna make it.
What's the max
Savage
level?
is 300. You can just keep
3.
going. Level
Wow.
300.
Okay.
Now here's the thing.
Wow.
I'm gonna give your strategy away, Savage. All right. So Savage's strategy is he finds the AFK XP maps, right?
Mm.
So he'll get on YouTube. Yeah, I'm telling you. He's like, no, don't tell my secret. It's what? Shouldn't everybody have this opportunity to get all the XP they want? Right?
Mm.
Find my secret.
My secret.
But so, but hey, they're not
Secrets are
actually
better
secrets.
Secret. You know, the thing about secrets is the more people that know them, the better. What? Secrets is so much fun when everyone gets to know them.
So,
but otherwise, what's the point of a secret?
right.
That's funny.
Yeah, so we'd play me and Savage, we'd play some Fortnite together sometimes. And, you know, so like, and I'm watching his levels just go crazy through the roof. And I'm like, dude, how are you getting so high in levels? Like, we're in week 2 of the battle pass and you've basically got it completed already, right? Like, what's going on? And he wasn't just playing hours and hours and hours and hours of Fortnite. What he was doing is finding XP maps where you could get passive, you know, like you go through this thing, you get a whole bunch of XP, and then you just let yourself bounce on this little trampoline thing for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and you get XP while you're just sitting there. And so you just go AFK, you know.
I see. That's fun. I've done things like that.
But
That's
I don't
great.
think, but
There's
they don't
nothing wrong
always,
with that.
yeah, they don't always do that.
I used to do that
though.
in games.
Yeah, well, a lot of times, like Fortnite, well, they'll catch you. Oh, and prioritizing quests, that'll do it. Yeah, so the quests will help you get more too.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
what do you call a pile of cats? A mountain. That's adorable.
Mountain. What do lawyers wear to court? Lawsuits.
Oh, lawsuit, that's true. They do. That's a really good joke.
And they bring lawsuits with them. Not only do they wear them, they bring them.
Well, they wear them like a glove. That hits hard.
Yeah, that's true, Mianglios. And Savage. Yes, you got to find the secret XP buttons in those things as well. If
Mm.
you bought the battle pass, might as well make sure it gets leveled up. I know, but there's only 2 days left, and I've got too much to do. Well, 3 days
Mm-hmm.
left. And quite frankly, I'd rather play Overwatch than Fortnite. If I have time for gaming, which I have very little,
Mm.
I'd rather. What's red and bad for your teeth? A brick.
That's true. That is so true. I've tried it. Actually, I don't know if
Wait,
I've
you've
tried
chewed on a brick or you've thrown a brick at your face?
that. Both. Same time. That's you. Isn't that how that works? You get some in your mouth.
Mm. What do sprinters eat before they race? Nothing. They fast.
They fast. They so fast.
They fast, man.
Mm-hmm.
Them guys, they fast.
They fast.
Oh, you've been playing Valorant. Oh, the shooter that takes some real skill.
Oh, does it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's super frustrating when you're trying to learn too, because you die so soon. You die quickly.
Well, that's my problem with Overwatch.
What, you don't die quickly? Or you? Oh,
no, you do die quickly in Overwatch.
Oh,
you like die like a pebble hits you, and you're like, well, you died, and you're like.
But you don't see in Valorant. You don't respawn.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah,
you die and you're done for that round, right? And then
that makes it really hard.
Yeah. So it only takes like 2 shots and you're dead, and so like you really got.
Reminds me of like CS:GO or something.
What has 4 wheels and flies? A garbage truck.
Oh, I see.
Wait, trackpad stand? What's trackpad stand?
Trackpad stand. Okay, you're gonna have to retype that or just explain it.
I'm not sure what that means, August. I'm sorry. What do you call a dog mixed with a light bulb? A spotlight.
I think they have a. Well, anyways, they can't play Valorant because they don't have a mouse. They're using.
Oh, because you have trackpad.
Yeah.
Ah, I gotcha. Yeah, that would be a tough game to play without a mouse.
Any game is hard to play without a mouse.
That's pretty true.
If you're playing with a trackpad on almost anything, it's incredibly difficult.
You will never use a mouse unless forced to. Ah, I see, August. So this is a personal thing for you. Not that you don't have a mouse, it's that you okay. Apple trackpad
is fantastic. What's a trackpad exactly? Is it the? Hold on. It can't be the red button. The red little nub. The red nub. The red nubs are the worst. Can't do anything with those.
Darkwing, you don't have a computer? Are you joining us on your phone then?
With the trackpad, do you have the kind that you can use a pencil on, or do you have the kind that is like? Well, I guess which kind do you have? Do you have the multi-touch, the pen kind, or do you have the
little rectangle built into the laptop that you swipe your finger on? Okay. Oh, you're watching on a tablet. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So you do the finger one. Okay. Does it have multi-touch or does it single touch? August.
Hey, see you later, Savage. Thanks for joining.
Bye, Savage. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We should probably call it soon, huh?
Yeah, we should. That's nacho cheese.
I like nacho cheese. I haven't had nacho cheese in a really long time.
Cheese is on sale at Meijer's right now. Not that matters.
Well, there you go. If you want cheese, go to Meijer's.
I just went to Meijer's today.
Well, before the stream started, I was commenting on cheese, and I was saying, shouldn't cheese be under the meat category? Because it's a bunch of tiny organisms which are made up of proteins, which is what meat is. It's a bunch of proteins. So I think and they move around, they've got muscles, these little tiny organisms. So cheese is just a type of meat.
Okay.
with some extra stuff in it.
That's fine with me. I can live
I
with
think so
that.
too. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Cheese is my favorite kind of meat, really.
See you later, Mianglios. And yes, Ellie, I did see the drummer one, and a one,
It's
and a two.
suspicious. Ellie. Oh my gosh, your puns.
If you're 99 pounds and eat 1 pound of nachos, you are now 1% nacho.
I like
Wow.
that.
It's true. I could eat a
Uh-huh.
pound of nachos. I love nachos.
Wow.
I love the chips. I
That's
love the cheese. I don't like them super
mm,
spicy, but I do love the nachos, man. Nachos are great.
yeah.
I would put nachos on a steak.
Yeah, why not?
It'd
That
be
sounds great.
super good.
I would eat that.
And
That
butter.
sounds right up my alley.
Nachos and butter
Yeah, that sounds great.
and cilantro. Cilantro is so good. The
I know.
unsung cilantro. That was one thing. You ever been to a Qdoba or a well, Qdoba. What's the other one
Yeah.
that's like that? Chipotle?
I was about to say Chipotle, yeah.
Yeah, Qdoba's better.
I like Qdoba way more than Chipotle personally,
Yeah,
but
me
that's
too.
not trying to make an argument out of it. I just preference.
Yeah, recently I've discovered that putting extra cilantro on a bowl or burrito you get is so good there.
We love cilantro over here. We put cilantro on our stuff, and it's so good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, if we have fresh cilantro when we can get it, we go to the store and we can buy it in the pot, and then we can pick it off. And man, cilantro is so good.
Do you grow it and then mow it and then
grow it, mow it, and yeah. That's right. Although one of my favorite spices of all time is coriander. And if you're not from the United States of America, it's a little confusing because coriander. Wait, do I have this right? Coriander is their word for our coriander, which is the seed. And also they use the word coriander for the leaves. Coriander means both the seed and the leaf. But in America, we separate the two. Coriander is the seed that's ground up as a spice, and cilantro is the leaves/stem.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, is it the other way? Cilantro. Cilantro is what they use for both terms. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Cilantro is what they use for the leaf and the seed, but we use coriander to mean the seed.
In the United States?
So they don't have that word. Yeah, in the United States. They don't, in other countries, you have the word coriander? Okay, yeah, no, coriander. Okay, I don't know. One in the way or the other. Same difference. Okay, fair enough.
I'm so confused right now.
Anyways, the point is, it's really confusing. So when I'm telling people what to use, I have to be specific and say the leaf of the plant or the seed of the plant. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But anyways, the seed, coriander in America, is one of my favorite spices. It's so good.
Does it taste like cilantro?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it tastes
completely different.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Cilantro is an amazing herb. I love it. But the coriander is like, what we put it on is usually like stuff. Well, what we make is stuffed shells, which is like, you can do a lot of different things, but the classic is like make a chicken noodle salad, put it in the big pastas that are like giant shells, and then you dust that with coriander, and it's amazing. It's so good. So good. Coriander brings such a beautiful extra flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Darkwing. I don't. You two friends who work at competing restaurants, and they turned to me and was like, "Which restaurant is better?" And you didn't know what to say.
Oh, I don't know what to say. Oh, that's a rough spot to be in.
Yeah, just say Arby's.
Just whatever. It's like neither of you work at Arby's, right? It's definitely Arby's. Sorry, guys. Wow.
Wait,
Arby's.
If one's sushi and the other is Chinese, they don't compare. They kind of compare. They're both Asian.
Mm-hmm. You know what, Darkwing? I think the best thing to do is just tell them straight up that you're not going to answer the question because you don't have an answer. You don't have an opinion on it, and you're not willing to try to ravage someone's relationship by picking one, because that would be the last thing you want to do, and you don't even have a preference in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. And you can talk sternly with them too, and you can be like, why are you trying to make me cause a fight?
Yeah. Why are you trying to make me pick sides?
Why are you being like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll cook up a mess real quick for you if you want.
That's
Go
right.
cook in your restaurants. Don't cook this thing. This thing's fine as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And give them a snap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, they're nowhere near the same. Japanese and Chinese food completely different. That is true. They are very different from each other.
Fine. But they're both Asian.
They are both Asian, but so is Russia. Russia is more Asian than most places in Asia.
Okay,
Because
fine.
Russia owns more Asia than anywhere else than China.
What's the predominant grain in Japanese and Chinese food?
In Japanese, it's short grain, and in Chinese, it's jasmine.
Rice. Thank you.
I know. No, Neon Blue, just let me answer this one. I figured the way around what he was trying to do.
So is bread in every Western. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I could
kidding,
say
by the
that
way,
say that Subway and Outback Steakhouse are basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Subway, Outback Steakhouse. Yeah, they're the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Olive Garden and
Steakhouse
McDonald's
is Outback Steakhouse Australian or is that American and they just named it something Australian?
It is not Australian. They said that it is. It is not.
It's American.
It's completely American.
I figured. It's like most Chinese restaurants in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not actual what they eat in China. It's American food, right? But they
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's funny.
Yep. All right. Well, hey, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We're gonna leave. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. Yes, he was. That's his job.
Surely was.
All right. Thank you guys so much for being here on Don't Worry Wednesday. We love you so much, and we love doing this show. We love the time we get to spend with you in the chat.
Thanks for spending time with us, guys.
Yeah. You guys are great. And thank you for the topic, Hero. I think he already left. And thank you guys for your patience and listening to us unpack all that. That was a very involved topic, but an important one.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next week when I'm going to say it right now for Ryan, and then I'm going to remind him again next week too.
Are you guys having a time change?
We changed time this week, so next week.
No. Okay, that means next week I'm showing up at 11:30. Yes, please remind me.
So is that going to be?
Joe.
Is that an hour later?
Thank you, future Joe. Yeah. Wait. Yes.
Because we fall back.
Yeah. So. Yep. Yeah, our time difference went from 14 to 15. Now our time difference is going to go from 15 to 16.
Yep. So it's an hour later. So this time of year is 11:30. So we'd be like, hey, you know what? So yeah. But
yeah, this time is really nice. Later on, though, when it goes the other way, it's not so nice.
Yeah, it's not so nice that time. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Then it gets earlier and earlier. But it's like, well, you know what? That's where you started.
Yeah, it is.
Just getting back to where you started.
Yep.
And you guys are messing with your sleep schedule anyway, right? So that like you guys are going crazy.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been everywhere. We keep on having to try to reset it. But we'll get it one of these days.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, best of luck with that. And yes,
Thank you.
I'll remind you again. But yeah, it won't be that bad. You'll just show up an hour early.
Yeah, that'll be actually if that happens, it won't be like I missed anything. I'll just be like, Hey Joe, and then you'll be like respond like an hour later. You'll be like, hey, and I'll be like, oh, yeah. Yep. Well, I guess the funny bit would be that I could potentially start it an hour early and be like, Joe wasn't here, guys. I don't know why he never messaged me. And so we're just going to do it without him.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get an hour into it and you'll be like, hey, and I'm like, oh, Joe's here. Hey, I'm going to put him in. And then we'll do a 3-hour stream, I guess. I don't know.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun either way.
Yeah.
And next week you're going to have a job. That's awesome, Ellie.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
And why do they serve Mediterranean food in Australia all over the place? Why is that?
They don't.
It's not.
What?
Super Neon Blue said that.
Oh, I don't know.
Whenever I go out to eat in Australia, they always serve Mediterranean food. You know what?
Oh, okay. They do so. Okay,
Every time
sorry.
I've ever gone out to
What is
eat in Australia, I've
which
got
is how many times?
nothing
That's a
because
lot.
it never happened ever.
Okay. What determines something to be what is Mediterranean food? Like
Hummus?
hummus? Okay, yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's Indian.
Peru. Mediterranean is like what? Chicken?
It
Grilled
just says look it
chicken.
up.
Okay.
Greek
Okay, grilled
food.
chicken,
Okay.
quinoa, Greek salad, lamb chops, hummus, and roasted tomatoes.
Greek food. Okay. So
You
like,
did say
what
hummus.
about like gyros and stuff with feta cheese in it?
That's Greek, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's Greek.
Greek. Gyros are great.
Okay,
I had a gyro
I'm
the
looking
other
at the
day.
Mediterranean
Oh,
foods,
so
and I
good.
think you're right. See, here's the thing. This is what I think of Australia. Pick any Mediterranean dish and put it on toast. Make sure it doesn't belong on the toast because it doesn't match in flavor, but put it on toast anyways. That's Australian food.
Okay.
But also, pick anything that's European, like by European I mean like from the UK. British food. So like fish and chips. Put that in every restaurant. You got a Chinese restaurant, fish and chips. You go to a Mexican restaurant, fish and chips. Like fish and chips everywhere, every restaurant ever.
I mean, I really like fish and chips.
Also,
one of my favorites.
Also, what do they call that? Parm? Chicken parm? Chicken parm.
Chicken parmesan.
Chicken parmesan. Chicken parmesan is not what you think it is. If you're American, chicken parmesan is not what you think it is. Okay, chicken parm is when you take a piece of chicken and you put ham on top of it, and then you put cheese on top of that, and you serve that. That's chicken parmesan.
Okay.
And that is what they serve at every restaurant, too.
Dude, now you're making me hungry.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about all these food things. Now I'm hungry.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And
with fries, yeah.
I have to eat. You know what I've been eating lately? Bologna and cheese on hot dog buns. Because I got to use them up.
Okay, yeah, well, that's funny, dude. That's amazing. Wow. And then, you know what? You can spice that up and it'd be nice.
Well, yeah, with mayo. Put mayo in it.
Yeah, mayo.
That's good.
I would recommend, now, this is a bit reaching, but if you chop up some onions, you don't have to do anything. Just chop up some onions. Because you don't like onions?
I don't like onions.
But then you put some turmeric on it. All of a sudden, it tastes like a chili dog. Flint style.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's weird.
It doesn't have the chili, though.
I know. That's the weird part.
Wait, so
like
bologna...
Bologna, mustard, and onions, and turmeric. Mix those three together. All of a sudden, you're like, why does this remind me of Flint style chili?
But there's not.
It's weird.
It doesn't have the.
It doesn't taste exactly like it. I know, but it tastes like it.
Wow.
It's weird. It's weird.
I mean,
it's a weird trick of the taste buds. I don't understand.
Conies are the best conies. Detroit style.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not gonna say it tastes exactly like it, but it's gonna be reminiscent. And you're like, why does this taste like a coney dog? I can't tell you. It just does.
Well, if it tastes like a Flint style one, then it's at least good.
Yeah, it's got that like taste to it, you know?
Yeah, tastes like Flint. Tastes like Flint water.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
it's got extra
lead.
No.
Lead. Tastes like lead.
Yummy. All right, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week on Don't Worry Wednesday. Until then, we love you. And
yeah, we love you guys.
Take care of yourselves and each other.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And each other, yeah. It's a good one.
We'll talk to you later. Bye, guys. We'll see you later.
Peace.